I don't know who needs to hear this, but you don't have to keep on holding on who you used to be. It's okay to grow, it's okay to change, and it's okay to let that old version of yourself go. And so the first thing that I want to talk about in this video is just really identifying who you are. And because of course, before we can let our old self go, we have to identify, what we are now. And so I wrote on my notes, I was saying, like, what do you represent? Like, say if you're somebody who smokes, you drink, you party all the time, like, is that who you truly are? If you're someone who, say you want to get to working out, are you someone who might not be, as healthy, as fit? Like, what truly are you? We have to identify and look into ourselves first before we can, start anywhere. And then for another thing, it was going to be like, what are you still attached on? Because I do realize, when we're trying to let our old self go, it's like we're trying to, so it's something that's still holding us back. And so, could that be, like say an ex-best friend or an ex, or, say it was a moment or something that happened in your life. Like, we have to be able to identify that. If it is, like your ex, like why was that person, still so close to your heart, even though y'all might have been broken up? Like, what is it? Even if it's an ex-friend, what in the friendship are you still holding on to? Is it the fact that you could have changed something else? Is the fact that you regret what you did, what you said? Like, we have to be able to identify those things before we could even grow as a person. And then after that, I said, how shedding helps you grow. Because a lot of the times, too, when we are holding on to older things, it's kind of like a representation of fear. So we're still like sitting in that fear because we're like, okay, well, I don't want to let that person go. I don't want to let this go. Or I don't want to let that moment go. It's like, it's like, even though it's not like a scary moment, it's like you're still sitting in fear because you're scared to let it go. And so I wanted to say that, wherever you're going through, whenever you let something go of yourself, you allow yourself to just grow and to blossom into a whole new person. You're able to start all new things. So we just have to be able to I don't know, I just realized that like we humans can do so much great things, but we just allow so much mental blockage, and that mental blockage could just be like the little things. That's why I said we have to be able to identify them so we could be able to grow. And that was going to be the first thing that I want to say for number one. And so for the second thing that I want to talk about is, how to know that you've outgrown yourself. And this was kind of still basing off of number one, because you of course know the things that you're still holding on to, but now you can finally show yourself now like how you've outgrown them. And I was supposed to talk about this in the first part, but one thing I used to really hold on to was like track. Like, I really wanted to like run track in college. That was my dream. That's something I wanted to do, but I could kind of tell when I've outgrown it when I got the news that I wasn't able to run, when I started to notice that like I just stopped worrying about it less, I stopped caring about it, I just literally, it popped out of my mind, I stopped thinking about it. And so that could be another way that you've outgrown certain things. Another thing that I had put on here was you just don't like old things. Like, say if you're someone who used to smoke all the time and you just stop smoking, it's just like, for example, you just stop smoking. So it's like now you don't care about smoking. You don't care about getting high or like experimenting different things, or I guess just doing stuff like smoking, like hot boxing. Like, you just don't care about the things regarding that. That could be another way to show you've outgrown yourself. You might outgrown people, same thing, just because you have an ex like best friend or someone you're not friends with, it just sometimes doesn't mean that the fallout was like bad, it was terrible, there was beef. Maybe you just outgrown them. They might be in a different place than you are. You might be in a different place that they are. So that could show how you've outgrown people. And this was going to be don't like old things, but it was like you don't like old habits. So bad habits that you used to not like, for example, when I was talking about my confidence, one of my bad habits used to be, like negative self-talk. Like, I don't even like to do that, or like to, like misery enjoys company. So like, say if I'm already going through something, I don't like to just pile stuff on top of me or to just do negative self-talk, because I know that's an old habit of mine. And because I've developed confidence to become a new person, it's like I've kind of outgrown that. I've kind of outgrown, talking negative things to other people about myself and, trying to make them feel bad for me, or just having negative energy in general. Like, I've kind of outgrown that. And then the other thing was to just show that how like Same thing for number one, that, you know, just because you stop smoking or you stop hanging around that type of person doesn't mean it's bad, but you're trying to push yourself to grow for a higher purpose. And that's the whole reason of this video, the whole reason why you're here, why you clicked. You know what I mean? We're just trying to grow. We're just trying to be better people. So just because you stop talking to a certain person, or you outgrew a certain relationship, or you just outgrew certain habits, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. You know, we're all people. We're all trying to go. We're all just trying to get through this thing called life. And so that's what I want to say for number two. And so for number three, I want to go into the overall purpose of reinventing yourself. And so I guess all of these kind of relate to each other, but the first part that I had for this was, you know, you start appreciating yourself more, because once you show that, like, for example, I'll just use smoking. I know a lot of people our age do that, like drinking. Knowing that you stop that and you're able to like put like the same effort you used to smoke or drink, you're able to put into other stuff, you can start appreciating that more, because now you love yourself more. You have more self-worth about yourself. You have more self-love about yourself. Like, those little things can, you know, they could just represent you, and that could just show the full purpose of why you changed. You know, I was gonna say that you can see the change. That might sound a little better. You're able to actually see the change of the old habits you used to stop, or the old mindset you used to have. You're able to appreciate yourself more from that change. Hopefully that makes sense. And then for the next part, I wanted to say, you just start loving where you're at now. You know, like, say, I'll just do YouTube, for example. Like, in the beginning, I definitely was, you know, more focused on the views and the subscribers. But now that I have more than I had when I first started, I'm able to see that growth, and then I'm able to appreciate where I'm at now, because where I'm at now, I wasn't when I first started. You know, I have better equipment, better editing. I just know more. You know, I might be a little bit more consistent. Like, just those things, I can appreciate where I'm at in life now, because I changed all those things later. So that's like I said, that's backing up the idea of like the purpose of reinventing yourself. And then for another thing, yeah, you just have more confidence, more self-love. You're able to love that what you achieve, because I do also realize that too, that like when we sit in fear and we just hold on to those older things, you don't appreciate where you're at now. You know, like, going back to YouTube, if I was just going to sit there and be like, well, no one's watching, I'm not growing, then it's like I won't be able to appreciate the 500 people who came across my channel and enjoyed my content, engaged with my content, commenting, liking. It's like I don't appreciate them because I'm comparing myself to other people, or I'm stuck in the past, or, you know, I'm missing how this used to be, or I wish I was at this spot. It's like you're not able to really appreciate where you're at now. And even outside of YouTube, that could relate to anything, you know, if it's smoking, or say if you want to get closer to God. Before you probably came into God and was really taking God seriously, you probably can see the difference. You probably can feel the difference. So just little things like that. I mean, if it's school, you know, you might have met more friends here than you had in the beginning. Or, you know, I know when college first starts, you know, you're kind of like a freshman, just graduated, so you might be, you know, a little bit immature, but now you might be a senior or a junior. You're more mature. You go about things differently. You have a different mindset. And so those are all the things just to back up the idea of like the true purpose of reinventing yourself. And that's what I want to say for number 4. And so I kind of mentioned this on the last one, but for number 4 is going to be stop fantasizing about the past. And this is my biggest one. I don't really do it like now because I've changed. You can see the growth. But like I said, I would definitely say it was really big with track. And sometimes I do find myself going back to there because I just missed when, you know, maybe I got a medal in this, or I might relay beat somebody, or when I got an email from a coach, because those are just like 2 or 3 prime examples of like my results being shown, or people appreciating my results. But then I've come to terms now that it's like I don't need someone to tell me that I'm doing good. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I need the motivation, but at the end of the day, it's like we have to start motivating ourselves. We don't always, that was in my last video, we don't always need other people's validation or other people to say that we're doing good. You should already feel like you're doing good. Those compliments should just make you feel better about yourself, but those compliments shouldn't just be you, if that makes sense. And so I would say, you know, stop fantasizing about the past. One thing, understanding you can't control everything. That was my biggest thing when I had to stop running track, was I just had to understand that I, you know, still to this day, yeah, there might be some things that I could have did differently. There's some things I could have went about differently, you know, like my mindset, not thinking I was going to lose every race. But then at the end of the day, it's like, I've come to terms with that, and because of that, I know that whenever I start something new, regards to school, YouTube, I have to be confident. I have to go in it with no fear. I have to go in it head on, headstrong, fast, hard. Like I got to do it. And learning that, you can't control everything. I've talked about that in a lot of my videos, but you just understanding uncontrollables helps you get through a lot of things because you can't control everything. That's what I was saying with track. Like, I believe that, I practiced as much as I could. I watched as many track videos as I could. On the weekends, I try to practice on starts. Like, I felt like I did everything I could. If running in college or, being a successful track athlete, that might not have just been my thing. That might not have been God's plan for me. But like I said, because I've grown and stuff, I'm able to start different things because maybe YouTube might be for me, or, me doing my degree, I even switched my major, stuff like that. Like, maybe that might be for me, but it's like, you'll never know if you're always stuck in the past and you're not appreciating your brand new self. Another thing was just like, you have to learn to let go and move things on. Once again, you can't control everything. Some stuff has to be left in the past. That was the old you. That's not the new you. Certain things like, the purpose of living in the moment, having a new mindset, purpose, like just everything. I learned that too, once we always live in the past, we never appreciate the present, you know what I mean? And it's like, we're not going to be here forever. So if you're always going to be dwindling in the past, you're just going to miss out on new events, new things, new experience, the present. And the present is all we have. So you got to be able to appreciate that and take it day by day and moment by moment. And that's what I wanted to say for number 4. And so for the last part of this video, which is probably the full explanation of the video, is just how to let go. And I would just say that practicing better habits and doing more beneficial stuff is what could overall help you move on. And so I was saying, one is praying. If you are Christian, well, I think if you're any religion, you have to, majority of them always pray. So regardless if you're Christian or not, praying to your God. I'm Christian, so like praying to God, Jesus, that's definitely gonna help you move on because God can assist you in that. And literally says in the Bible for him, he wants you to come to him for everything. He wants you to lean on him and not your own understanding. All that is in the Bible. Your faith represents your connection with God. Like all of these things, just pray. Just pray, give it to God, let him handle it because he is bigger than us, he's more powerful than us, and we can't control everything. So go ahead and give it to God. Just go ahead and give it. Another thing was, not being so hard on yourself. That was another thing. I'm still learning because, I'll post a video and then say it doesn't do as good. I'll sometimes be like, oh, that's a reflection of me as a creator. But then at the end of the day, that might just be the algorithm. YouTube might not have pushed it out. But at the end of the day, that's just me being so hard on myself. At the end of the day, I'm showing up. I'm being consistent. I'm posting. Quality clear. Audio clear. You know what I mean? We got different topics we're trying to talk about. The vlogs, we doing different things. We're going out different people. I'm with different people, just trying different things. You know what I mean? So just not trying to be so hard on myself. One, I was saying, making new people, because I know people who have said that like I'll just use smoking because I feel like I just know a lot of people who used to smoke that don't smoke, or I feel like I heard a lot of people talk about it. But I know a lot of people who are like, you were only cool and friends with people because they smoked. Like they didn't have nothing in common. It was just because they know how to roll that weed up, that blunt, smoke it, pass it around, and that was it. You know what I mean? And so the example I was trying to say was like, say if you make new friends that are more beneficial, friends that will keep you more healthier, you can substitute those older friends that used to have you doing bad habits or having a bad mindset, thinking a bad way, living a bad life. Like newer friends, like, don't they say that like bad company can corrupt good company? So of course, if you have good company, that's just gonna better good company. And then I was saying, setting boundaries, especially if you're in a relationship. Maybe there were some things you did prior that like you didn't like. You might have let somebody like walk on top of you. They could do the same thing for friendships, but if you have new boundaries that could, not have the same reoccurring issues, so you'd still be moving on or letting that old stuff of you go. And then creating new habits, journaling. I know journaling helps people just with a clear mind. So say if you overthink a lot, journaling can help you. Having new habits, like I said, the habits that's like the whole video basically. But you know, new habits, like say if you want to start working out, like I said, journaling, say you want to start doing Bible study more. So like beneficial habits will just help you move on and just allow you to let go of so many negative and bad habits and negativity, bad people. Like just working on yourself, working on new things, new experiences, it will overall help you let go. And that's all I want to say for number 5. And so that does conclude this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below what other video ideas you guys want me to discuss. I was just trying to look these up and see, you know, what are people talking about? What are people feeling? I try to keep these videos, like I said, raw. My vlogs are kind of more heavy edited, so I'm just gonna try to keep these videos raw, little conversation. I'm talking to you, you talking to me, listening, you commenting, engaging. We just having a time. We're just talking. Just me and you. Me and you, we twin of them. We twin of them. Wherever that song goes. But yeah, so that was just it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, let me know more comments you want me to talk about. Let me know if you guys are enjoying the content so far. And yeah, I'm not gonna have that outro too long. Hopefully I helped you guys with this, and I hope you guys give me some more tips and advice that I can help you guys with, or questions. So yeah, continue to like, comment, subscribe, road to 500 subs, and I'm gonna see you on the next video.